All right, so I'm rethinking fixed index annuities. I'm changing my position on these. And the reason for that is because we have had such a run of the last 12 years, I can't see anything but a significant downside risk. And for those of you who weren't around, let me tell you how painful it was to be an advisor in the aughts, the first decade of the century, and also how painful it was to be a retiree. It just sucked. No other way around that. So from March 6th of 2000 to October 9th of 2000, not October 9th, to March 9th of 2009, we had a decline like we hadn't had since the Great Depression. But unlike the Great Depression, which was during deflation, we actually had some inflation. So it was a double whammy. We had rising cost of living, plus a market decline, just like the Great Depression, plus real estate crashing as well. So it was just freaking brutal, man. That decade was horrible, and I think it's easy to overlook that because it's been 12 years, and we just can't have that happen again. Hey, boys. All right, so I want to go back to what happened was you put money into an account your whole career. You put money in, you put money in, you put money in. All right, so you just put money in every single paycheck. You're putting money in, and you wake up on March, we'll just say on October 2007, you got $1 million in your account. You're like, man, I'm a millionaire. Just by putting in money every single paycheck, I'm a millionaire. You wake up 18 months later, that account was worth $450,000. And that's without you even taking any money out. That account was worth less than half. So what happens when you're planning for retirement? There's two phases of retirement. One is you got your accumulation, where you put money in, put money in, put money in. And then you got your decumulation, where you're taking money out, taking money out, taking money out. Pretty simple. The problem with what we just saw in that scenario is you put money in, all right? And then it stops. You miss out on this right here because the market fell before you had a chance to take the income off. So let's say that's a $150,000 decline. That's only a 15% drop in your income, your portfolio value. But that's $150,000 you cannot withdraw now. So basically what happens, you cut it short and you miss on this whole bit of money. And that's just with a 15% decline. Never mind if you had a 20, 25, or 54% decline. The point being is you got to change your thought process when it comes to decumulation. And that we're so trained for growth, that we overlook things. Look, I'm pointing myself. Well, fixed index annuities, they don't have 100% participation, or there's a cap rate, and they don't include dividends. I get that, man. I get it 100%. And I get that for growth. We're trying to grow the freaking nest egg. When it comes to taking money out of the nest egg, especially when we've had 12 straight years of such a wonderful run, man. So think about it. Real estate prices are high or low? They're high. Bond prices are high or low? They're high. Stock prices are high or low? They're high. So if we have a once in a generation like we had in 2007 to 2009, real estate prices drop. Actually, the government bonds went up, but the corporate bonds went down and stocks went down as well. And a lot of people lost their jobs simultaneously. You can't have that happen. So anyway, I've been rethinking this just because I said, I don't trust the market. That doesn't, I'm 100% still invested. And I'll share with you another video I'm going to do later on VTIGX. But here's my man, Amar. All right, so Amar's, we did a live stream. We do live streams every Wednesday at 12:30 Eastern time. And he sent me this that we talked a little bit about. And I had a chance to look at it a little bit more. And this is called the Prime Path Pro 10. I don't know anything about this insurance company, North American company. I don't know anything about Salmon's financial company. I'm just using the illustration. It's a flexible premium deferred annuity non-qualified contract. So there's three things going on there. Flexible premium means you're not locked into how much you can put in. You can put in anything you want. It's flexible. You can put $1 in, you can put $1 million in. And next day you can put 10,000 or 100,000. You can do whatever you want. Deferred annuity just means you're not taking income off it now. You're deferring your ability to take income off it to a later date. And that later date might never come. You might never want to do that. but you're just deferring that option. Non-qualified just means it's a non-IRA account. So you have to put in money that is not in an IRA or 401k. All right. So this date line 3/16/2021, and Amar sent this to us. All right. So the first thing that jumps out with any annuity, you got surrender charge. Here you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years before your full access is available to you. A lot of people scoff on that. I don't. Actually, the longer you have where you can't touch your money, the more the contract will, well, not just contract, the more the investment will work for you. The one thing we have with short-term traders is that because of their ability to get in and out, and to do the short-term trading, what they end up doing is they end up hurting themselves because they're going back and forth. And you just gotta let the markets work, man. And that's why having a surrender charge or a 401k or an IRA where you can't touch your money until you're 59.5 is actually beneficial for sure. You do get 1 year, one per year after the first contract anniversary. You may take a penalty-free withdrawal of up to 7% of your value of the contract. I couldn't figure this part out right here, so I'm not going to talk about that. That didn't make any sense to me. So let's go into what's going on here. So what we have here exactly, I just missed it right here. We got Amar is putting in, I guess he's the client, he's not the client, he's the agent. So he's put, yeah, right here. He's putting in $300,000. All right, he's going to put in $300,000. Benefit-based roll-up for 15 years. We'll talk about that. Let's see. So we got, let's just dive into that. We'll talk about that here in just a second. All right. So we got a benefit-based, roll-up. I'll share with what that means. And we're putting $300,000. And I think Amar was 60. Well, we'll see. And we're going to invest it in this guy right here, the S&P Mark 2-year EPP. So I was like, what the heck is a Mark? And I said, let's look into this. Boink. And we're going to see what the Mark is right here. The multi-asset risk control 5% excess return is managed to a volatility target. As a result, the index performance will not match that of any other index or the markets in general, since volatility control tends to reduce both the rate of negative performance and positive performance of the underlying index, thereby creating more stabilized performance. I'm not sure I'd buy that in this fund for sure. I think I would actually, if I'm paying for the insurance, I want it to be a little bit more aggressive, but we'll just do what it is. That is, I get what they're doing. I say, look, we're going to put some limits on your ability to make money, and your downside risk is too. I would rather do something different than that. But I'm not sure what the other options are. So you'd have to look at whoever it is. Actually, let's see what they offer. I'm just curious. Whoever's offering you this, you'd have to look at yourself. I wonder if they just got a low volatility, daily risk control. I don't want that. I don't want a low volatility, but it looks like that's all they offer is volatility risk, because you're already paying for the insurance. So the volatility is the insurance company's risk, not mine, because I'm already paying for it. But yes, it may. And this index only goes back to 2017, so we don't have a huge time frame to look at it. But we'll just go into what it shows you here. I think it's pretty interesting. And we'll go into some of these terms here in just a second. All right, so I do like this. Benefit-based death benefit. Upon your death, your beneficiary will have the option to receive the death benefit subject to the rider paid out over 5 equal annual payments. That's pretty good. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. And this has a long-term care rider as well, which we'll get into later on. All right, so I want to show what this means. All right, so we have a lifetime payment percentage. They say if you are 65 years old, when you pull the money out, you'll get a 4.5%. And if it's based on you and your wife, so if it's me and Charlotte, it'll be a 4%. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. The younger you are, the less of a lifetime payment percentage you'll get. If you're 75 years old, it goes from 4.5 to 5.5. Hope that makes sense. If you're covering 2 lives, it's reduced by 50 basis points, 1/2 of 1%. So it'll go from 4.5 to 4, 5.5 to 5. Depends on if it's just 1 life or 2. All right, so let's keep going down. I want to show you the illustration because it's pretty interesting stuff here. And this, I want to show you something. Annual effective rate 0. This is the guaranteed annual contract value. This is the guaranteed, the worst case scenario. All right, they're saying you will not have worse than this at all. Now, this includes all fees, by the way. Now, I don't know if it includes, if it's under an asset under management fee. I don't know. But in this case, I don't know if it includes commissions. I don't know. But you'd have to find that out. What's up, big guy? All right, so here we go. We got valued client. He's 65 years old. He's putting in $300,000 today. All right, guaranteed annuity contract value. All right, so in 10 years, he'll be 75, and he'll still have $300,000. That's his guaranteed, or I should say, guaranteed surrender value. Surrender value is how much you can walk away. You say, I don't like you guys, send me a check. They'll say, we guarantee you that you'll at least get your money back. That is big. So remember, lock that away. Hold on a second, let me get that dog. The first thing we got to remember is that worst case scenario is you get your money back in 10 years. I actually like that. That says it's guaranteed to return your premium back. Doesn't mean you're going to not miss out on a huge amount of market upside. But remember, if you had 7.2% on your S&P 500, that 600,000 would be worth, that 300,000 would be worth 600,000 after 10 years. 10 years, the S&P 500 would be the opportunity cost. It could be worth 600,000 if you got 7.2% a year on your portfolio. Or in this case, the worst case scenario is you get your money back. All right, and you can see no crediting interest rate right there. All right. Now, let's go into here, the benefit base. Now, this is different from walk-away money. The minimum guaranteed surrender value is your walk-away. Send me a check, and I'm done with you guys. Your benefit base is the guarantee that they'll pay you an income stream on this amount right here. It's not walk-away money. So one of the things that drives me crazy about annuities, I'm going to let this dog out. There you go, big boy. All right. Is that people say, I was talking to a lady today, I'm getting 6% a year guaranteed. And yeah, no, you're not. You're getting 6% a year or 5% a year on your benefit base. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not walk away guarantee. That drives me up the wall. It's on an income stream, but you can't take out a 6% guarantee in one fell swoop. You can't. It doesn't work like that. But it does work to say, in 10 years, I have $331,000 for which I can get an income stream on. All right, so now what we do here is we say 331 is my benefit base. Remember, I made no money, but I did have I guess it's a 5% roll-up. So I'm getting 5% a year or something like that as a guarantee on my income stream. Now, what does that mean? All right, so I am 75 years old here. It's just me and no wife. I got $331,000. Remember, if we go back to this thing right here, I will get 5.5% a year of income guaranteed for the rest of my life off this amount of the benefit base. All right, 331,000 times 5.5%. I'm going to get roughly, what's that, 17, 18,000 a year. One of these numbers. I think it's this number right here. So we'll just say 18,000 a year. Each and every year guaranteed for the rest of my life. All right, so I'm getting 18,000 a year. It'll never go down. It might never go up. Probably won't, frankly. But either way, I get that guaranteed. It will never go away. Now, what happens here is this is the amount I could use if I paid for the option, what I'll share with you in just a second, for long-term care. And if we go to LPA, this is a long-term care rider. I don't really want to get into this too much, but we will. Once elected, the lifetime payment amount, this is the amount that may be received each contract year if one of the covered persons in the accumulation is reduced to for the life. Okay, this is the amount that will be received each contract year for the life of the covered persons, even if the accumulation value is 0. When you first select lifetime income payments, you have the option between level, which was, remember we showed you that, if you have level, it's 4.5% guaranteed, or increasing. Your payments will increase by 100% of the weighted average interest credit percentage. Your payments will be the applicable lifetime payment percentage multiplied by the greater of the current benefit base. We'll show you that in just a second. Future payments will not decrease as long as you, future payments will not decrease as long as you do not withdraw more than the lifetime payment amount. All right, so future payments will not decrease, which is pretty interesting. Now, this is the ADL, the activities of daily living, the long-term care insurance contract. It will be multiplied by the APA, which we just showed you. I'll just show you again in just a second. When the ADL benefit qualification conditions are met. The ADL benefit will depend on you are able, here's how you exercise your ability to have access for this, for a long-term care rider. You cannot perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. You can't transfer, you can't feed yourself, you can't clothe yourself, those things. The benefit becomes available at the beginning of the 3rd contract year. Is not available after so you lose your money once there's no money left to receive, if that makes sense. Payments on this benefit may not exceed 5 contract years, and payments under this benefit will not be available if this full lifetime payment amount is not if payments under this benefit will not be available if the full lifetime payment amount is not withdrawn within full contract year. All right, so basically, lifetime payment percentage. Here I'm 75. If I took 5.5% when I first initiated the contract, I'd only get 5.5% a year as my guaranteed income. If I took an increasing percentage, I get 4.9. I don't know why anyone wouldn't take the increasing percentage, frankly. So I'd have to talk to the agent, like, why would anyone do that? Because I'm getting $18,000 a year without the payment, without the lifetime payment option, or $36,000 a year with it. Okay, so that seems like a slam dunk to me. So I'm not sure why I would not do that. But be that as it may, let's keep going down. And here's your death benefit. If I died before I took any money out, my kids could get the death benefit right here, $300,000, or they could get $66,000 a year for the next 5 years, which is what we'd want to do. Say, hey, just take $66,000 a year, because $66,000 a year times 5 is $330,000 as opposed to basically a 10% increase. All right, hope all that makes sense. So again, this is if we got nothing, no rate of return at all, nothing. In fact, with fees and everything, we were losing money. We're guaranteed to get our money back at the worst case scenario. We're guaranteed to have a benefit base where we get at least $18,000 a year. If we did the LPA, we'll get, it looks like twice that. And again, you'd have to talk to your agent to confirm all that, but still. And then if I died, my heirs are guaranteed to get 5 payments of $66,000 each. That's the worst case scenario. That's not too shabby, if you ask me. All right, so let's keep going down. That's with nothing. Now, what if I made 5.43% a year? All right, now that's not, if you're going to get an annuity, you're not making much money, I guarantee, because there's all the fees in there, man. You're not getting dividends, all this stuff. But what will happen is, you can see, I'm going to go to year 10. Year 1, crediting rate 0. Huh, why? Year 3, crediting rate 0. Why? Year 4, 5, crediting rate 0. These are the years where the market, whatever their index in is, fell, lost value. So when it loses money, I don't gain any money, but I don't lose either, if that makes sense. But the following year I made money. The following year I made money. The following year I made money. Now, some of these years I might have made more money if I were not in this thing, but I still made a positive return. Like in this case, I did a comparison. The S&P 500 this year was up right here was up 33%, where this portfolio is up 25%. Still pretty good, man, especially the fact I didn't lose money in 2018 when the S&P 500 was down 4.5% and whatnot. So you see, so we had no downside risk in terms of losing money, and we are going to limit some upside. That's just a fact, but still 25% ain't too shabby if you ask me. All right, so if I average 5.43% a year, that's the annual effective rate. You can see after 10 years, now I have a surrender value of $466. All right, so I made $166,000 more than the guaranteed minimum. I'm locked in at $300,000 as my worst case scenario, or in this case, I got $466. And I would probably say this is probably pretty close to your best case scenario, $466. That's my walk away money. Josh, give me a check. I can't stand this insurance company. That's $466. Now, if I put $300,000 in, and I walk with $466, that $166,000 is taxes ordinary income, just FYI. All right, but now here's my benefit base. Look at this, man. My roll-up, I guess that's that 5% roll-up amount, is $220,000, which is on top of my surrender value of $466, which means my benefit base is $688,000. That's the income I'm receiving. 5.5% of $688,000 is $37,000, $38,000 a year. Or if I did the LPA, it's twice that. So $75,781 is twice this level lifetime payment amount. So I'm like, all right, so I got long-term care, I'll take it, or or an enhanced income stream. I have $38,000 as a regular income stream, which is 5.5% of my benefit base. Not 5.5% of my surrender value, 5.5% of my benefit base. I'll take that. And then if I die before taking this money out, my kids get $137,000 over the course of 5 years, which is certainly more than $466,000, which is my surrender value. They're going to get $137,000 over 5 years. That's $685,000. So the worst case scenario is I don't get as much upside in the S&P 500. That's not so bad when I'm in the decumulation mode, if that makes sense. I mean, look at that. So then we go down here and we say, okay, here's our most recent, here's our highest, and here's our lowest. So the lowest annual effective rate was, I saw the thing in here, was from what years? The lowest from 2008 to 2018, where it only averaged 5.23%. And that's the annual effective rate, 5.23. The net annual effective rate will be negative, net of fees and whatnot, is 4.32. That's the lowest. All right, so 4.32 is the lowest amount. You had $458,000 is your accumulation value, the amount you could walk away with. So you start with $300,000. You have $458,000. You have more than double your benefit base is $667. So in this case, in 10 years, you can take $37,000 a year. It ain't too shabby, man. Crediting interest rate. All right, this is the highest. Your accumulation value is $587,000. Again, your net rate is about 7% a year. So that's roughly you doubled your money. Now, would you have done better than the S&P 500? Guaranteed. But you also have a chance to go way down. You can't afford that. Your benefit base is $1 million. $57,000 a year is the income you're going to get for a lifetime payment amount. Crazy. And then the most recent is the most recent is just right about the lowest. So, again, I'd say the lowest is probably what you'd want to look at, or the guaranteed minimum. It's okay. Worst case scenario, can I live if I have a $300,000, I put it in this guy, and then 10 years from now, I'm sitting on $18,000 a year, guaranteed, no less than that. On top of that, if I did the LPA option, I'm getting $36,000 as a potential long-term care amount. And then worst case scenario is I can get my money back without any downside risk. Obviously, I don't know the insurance claims of this company. I don't know. But I would assume that this insurance company is in pretty good shape. All right, so let's see. They're going to say, here's the index option-based crediting year one. I'm not sure what the different numbers are. Oh, the highest, lowest. Okay, so there you go. So here, right here, sweet. So we got, this is what we're using. So we had a negative year 3. We didn't lose any money. Negative year 5. We didn't lose any money. Negative year 8, we didn't lose any money. And let's see here. That's the most recent. Okay, so you can, I'm not sure why, I don't get why that's 13 and that's most recent. Oh, index return. Okay, and I'm not following with the index return versus this, so that doesn't make sense to me. All right, but that's the way. You can see when we lose money, when the market goes down, we don't lose money. Okay, hey there, big guy. Anyway, so look, it seems like I have something else I want to say on this. I guess that's pretty much it. All right, should you do this? Hey, buddy, oh, you like my ear? My ear smells good. I think you should put it as an arrow in your quiver, man. I don't know why you wouldn't, and the reason being because, I talked about yesterday the SWAN defined risk options. I talked about the Wellesley Income Fund. My default is Wellesley for sure because it's easy, it's cheap, and it's liquid, but there is something to be said about making sure you watch your back, if that makes sense. Watch your six. Come a kiss. Because we don't want you to lose 54% if you're looking at retiring in a couple of years, or if you just did. You just can't have that. Now, the nice thing about these things right here is that they guarantee you an increasing income stream. And there's a value added there for sure. So I don't sell these things. I know people who do. I'm happy to provide you links or names, but I don't sell them. I don't get paid anything. So you do your own research. But love to hear your comments. All right, we'll see you.